policy, I believe, started with Daddy Freeze on tithe paying, or payment of tithe, when he called out and said it was foolish to pay it. And then later on, I saw a video of you trending where you also said it wasn't to be paid. And then it seemed like you're a bit inconsistent, because you had said it shouldn't be paid, and then you had said something to alter it when criticism had come up. What exactly is your stand as regards payment of tithe, and how do you react to the controversies of the PFN members when they called you out because of it?
Well, you know, I think the tithe issue has been so overflogged. The first thing we're dealing with is that God is not transactional. The God we serve does not need your dime. He doesn't need your filthy lucre to relate with you. He's not hungry for money. He owns the earth. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof. He created the universe, all the diamonds, all the gold and the silver. He put them there. He can't be saying he cannot relate with you if you don't give him some money. That's character assassination. God owns everything. So that gospel of tithe is a gospel that was communicated where God is presented as he will never answer your prayer till you give him a tip. He will never do something for you till you massage him with a little money. He will not do anything for you. So every time you're coming to God, you must have something in your pocket. You know, so
but these are biblical things. So, first fruits,
I'm coming to that. I'm just laying a foundation. So now, where did the issue of tithe start from? And I've never contradicted myself. I've maintained a consistency on the issue of tithing over the years. The tithe started with Abraham. Genesis 14 is called the law of first mention. Nobody asked Abraham for it. Nobody did. But where is Abraham coming from? Abraham is coming from idol worship. In idol worship, you don't go to idols empty. You must come with something. That's the foundation of Abraham's mindset. So Abraham goes to war, defeats his enemies, recovers Lot. On his return, he meets a man called Melchizedek, a type of Christ. Now, not Christ, a typology of Christ. And Melchizedek said to Abraham, "Blessed be Abraham of the Most High, the possessor of heaven and the earth." That's in Genesis 14, by the way. And Abraham, having had the blessing from Melchizedek, took a tenth of the spoil of war and gave to Melchizedek the tithe. He didn't pay. He gave in response to what Melchizedek has said, and in response to the victory that God gave him at the place of war. Few years down the road, Moses shows up. Moses became a prophet over Israel because God in Numbers 19 said to Israel, "I want to make you a kingdom of priests and kings. I want to relate with you directly." And Israel said, "No, we don't want to relate with you directly, God. If you want to do anything with us, talk to Moses. If we want to talk to you, we will talk to Moses." So Israel appointed Moses a mediator, and God permitted, because God is not a tyrant. He will allow you have what you want, and he will warn you of the outcome, the consequences of your choices. So God said, "All right, you can have Moses, can be your mediator." And then Moses now preached Christ to Israel, and Israel did not listen to Christ. So Moses began to give them laws and laws and laws. And now, since you don't want to relate with God directly, it means you will need a priesthood. So Moses set up a Levitical priesthood. Now, the Levites were a tribe in Israel that were set apart to serve in the temple. And they were not supposed to work. They were not supposed to farm. They were just supposed to stay in the temple on behalf of Israel. So Moses said, "Okay, we're going to borrow a leaf from Abraham. If the Levites are not going to work, it means you guys will have to pay a tithe of what you own, since they are working for you. And that will be done once a year during harvest." So the tithe was from food, plants, and herbs. That was the tithe. And somebody said to me, "But there was no money." I said, "No, it's a lie. There was money right from Genesis before Exodus." So it's not because there was no money, it's because the tithe was food stuff. That's why when Malachi will speak, he will say, "Bring you all the tithe, that there may be food." There may be food. There may be food, because the tithe was all from food, from food stuff. And they were doing that all through until Malachi. Jesus shows up in the book of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And the Bible tells us in Galatians chapter 4, verse 4, "But when the fullness of the time was come, God sent forth his Son, made of a woman, made under the law, to redeem them that were under the law." Which means Jesus existed under the law of Moses. In Matthew 5:17, he says, "I'm not come to destroy the law, but to fulfill." That means to meet the demands that the law gave to man that man could not meet. So Jesus met those demands. Romans chapter 10, verse 4 tells us, Christ is the end of the law for righteousness to everyone who believes. Galatians 3:13 tells us, Christ hath redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us, for it is written, curse is everyone that hangs on the tree, that the blessing of Abraham might come on the Gentiles, that we may obtain the promise of the Spirit through Christ. So Jesus took away the law and all the demands of the law. Today, we don't pay tithe. What do we do today? The New Testament church started in the book of Acts. The New Testament started in the book of Acts after his resurrection. It's Matthew 26:28 says, this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins.
So that's where tithe started?
So, no, in the New Testament, which is the book of Acts, no tithe. What they had was generosity. People gave willingly, generously. Nobody demanded anything from anybody. But people gave out of their own volition.
Let me ask, do they pay tithe in your church?
No, we don't pay tithe.
You don't pay tithe so you can donate
People
willingly?
just give freely. People know the projects. They know what we're going to do. And people just
then when you're led, you give. So we have a caller on the line, and I'll come to Miriam. Joshua.
I need to ask him a question.
Oh, let Miriam speak. Joshua, good morning. Miriam haven't spoken.
Joshua, right there.
Yes, you're live. From London, good morning.
Yeah, I'm live with you. Yeah, I'm calling from London.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I want to ask a question from Dr.
Abel. Yes.
Morning, YK.
Good morning.
Yeah, nice to hear your voice. And,
thank you. Nice.
I'm a regular person in this very your view. And I really like what you ladies are doing. You are really enlightening Nigerians. Because Nigerians are really wallowing in your ignorance of many things. And to be real with you, you've asked a very pertinent question. No one can tell anyone as a human being that Jesus is the one that fit to die for anyone. Jesus is just like a normal human being like us. I was born a Muslim. My name is Joshua Akim Aregbe. I was born a Muslim and I practiced Muslim religion for when I was 35, because I became a Christian. If you ask anyone, even Dr. Dick knows me very well. I'm a very active person in Mountain of Fire Miracle. The day I asked a question that why would you think Christianity is the only way to see God? Why would you think that Muslim, any other religion, is not anything that God approved? Because the Bible that you keep referring to when Yenny asks you this question was that you are still referring to the Bible. It's a good book, it's a good story book. But to me, as an individual and as a person, there's nothing spiritual about it. It's about a story about a certain region that practices certain things. Like as we as an Africans, we have our own religion from the one that we inherited from our forefathers. And it has been working for us. You won't tell me because I don't practice Christianity, I don't believe in Jesus Christ, I can't get salvation. What is salvation? What is my sin? My father and my mother slept with each other, they gave birth to me. They are my God. They trained me, they put everything in themselves, both of them as a man and husband. They trained me before I became a matured man. And I began to realize that my God is my parent. Because if my mother had decided to terminate my pregnancy,
you won't have been
I won't be here, saying anything. But because they took all, they pour in all. You see, when our women go to labor, they are taking a very high risk because they are attempting suicide by bringing forth fellow human beings from themselves.
True. Well done, so Joshua. I think we got the crux of the question. Do you have anything to say to that?
Well, that's his view, and again, he is entitled to his view, and I cannot concede the authority of the Bible to his view. The Bible tells us clearly, he that cometh to God must believe first that he is, and that he is a rewarder of those who diligently seek. As long as you do not come to that point of believing that he is, then I don't think we really have a platform for
That's the other thing that surprises me, what you're saying, because you're talking about the Jews, you're talking about the Malachites, or I can't remember all the people you are talking about. Where is Africa in this
Africa
you haven't spoken about. You haven't spoken. You're telling me about Jews. You're telling me about.
Africa is huge.
You haven't mentioned Africa.
Yeah, because the discourse didn't go there. So let me bring you in.
Does the Bible even consider us as human beings?
Big time. I mean, Jesus was born at the age of 2. He was brought to Egypt. That's Africa. He was in Egypt for a long time before he finally went back to Israel. So it's not even a white man's religion, actually. Christianity is not even a religion to start with. It's a relationship with God.
Being Christ-like.
In Christ.
Yeah.
Basically.
So because of time, Miriam.
So what color was Jesus Christ?
Oh, God.
Why
cannot we're going to bring him back.
Don't matter.
I'm asking.
Colors
I have to
matter.
ask because the pictures I see.
Many things are responsible for color. So colors don't matter. And the Bible didn't tell us what color because, well,